Hello, good morning from Hong Kong, China, and the climax day of the 2026 Wingfoil Racing World Cup Hong Kong. Mirko Babini, the IWSA president, in the commentary box with me, Alec Wilkinson, and we have got loads of great action coming up, and at the end of the day we will have some new champions crowned as well. So the format for the day is pretty straightforward. We've got the golden ticket race. That is a long distance race. That's going to get underway in about 30 seconds time. So we'll talk you through that in a moment. And then the winners from that race will go through to the medal series with the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and then the grand final. But right now we have a field of all the riders that didn't make the top 9 in the men's and the women's competition, and it's 10 seconds to go, and what you're going to see is it is a rabbit start. Talk us through that.
Yes, now the rabbit start at the 0 will just cross the pin end mark and then all the way to the race committee board, and it's kind of the rugby start open the gate in
Yeah.
reality. So open the starting line, and then all the competitors, they are allowed to cross the starting line and go for the long distance race.
Some of the less experienced competitors will have hung back a little bit worried maybe about getting too close to that speedboat because they have to pass behind it. But Rafferty Reid, the only Briton in the fleet here in Hong Kong, is out in front at the moment.
And we can spot the blue wing of Ernesto De Amicis, which is often always on the top 9, is not used to run the golden ticket race, so he will try his best obviously to score. There is no second on the golden ticket, and or you win or doesn't matter. So it's really important that you have to have a good start and then do all the race as much as you can. You can see the wind is bending quite a lot, and Rafferty now is in front, and Ernesto had to tack and to avoid to take the, let's say, the bad wind from the left side of the course. Obviously, is a little bit longer than a normal short track racing. You need to probably to run 18 minutes, between 15 and 18 minutes to close the entire course.
So it's about twice the time of a normal race that we have. It is an upwind leeward course, and then there's a final reach to the finish when they get to the top mark for the final time. So Chao Tse-hei of Hong Kong, China is currently out in front. He finished qualifying in 12th place, so just out of the top 9. Rafferty Reid, who's also in the hunt there, he finished 13th. And Ernesto De Amicis, the Italian, he just missed out by 4 points on the top 9, and he finished in 10th.
Yes, we can see a good spread now. Rafferty and another one. Who is the one on the white wing? I don't have the name. It's
Chao.
Chao Tse, and Ernesto is on the right side. He tacked later, so. Let's see how it goes until the end, because the wind is patchy and it's really switching right to the left. So it's really important to do the right tack when it's the right moment. They are pretty close to Mark 1. Now Ernesto is not looking bad. Chao Tse-hei is also going quite quick. Ernesto decided to tack and put himself on port. We see a couple of windsurfers around because now the course is set inside of the bay, so we have some IQ foil.
Yeah, it's a big water sports centre this where we are, and there's the big bay of Tai Tam is where there's a number of water sports centres, government-run water sports centres. It makes it really easy and accessible to anyone to come down and have a go. And our leaders are now at that top mark.
Yes, Rafferty is.
So Rafferty Reid is round. We can see the blue wing of Ernesto De Amicis already some distance behind. So the Briton has got a good advantage after the first leg.
But as you can see, the wind is really, really not easy to understand. And they are doing a lot of tacking and jibing. It's going to be the same all the way downwind now, and being on the right spot to have more pressure behind.
So we've seen most of the racing over the week happening kind of further out of the bay where the winds are stronger and steadier. There were difficult conditions yesterday morning in qualifying, but the wind steadied a little for the afternoon sessions. But now it's do or die for these guys. The winner only will go through to the medal series. Will take up that 10th place as we follow Rafferty Reid making his way down through the rest of the pack.
Yeah, he's pumping a lot. I think it's really. I think him now is leading the golden ticket. He really deserved it. He was 14 or 15, 14,
he was 13th.
13.
Yeah.
So it was a tough week for him. Let's see if he can manage to stay in front for the all races. I know that Ernesto and Chao Hai, they will push a lot until the last leg.
Obviously, because it's a longer race than normal, there is more time for them to catch any leader, to try and reel in Rafferty Reid. And Reid will be telling himself just to keep things simple, not to make any mistakes. We've got some women on the course as well, because the men's and women's fleet compete together in the golden ticket. As Anastasia Varichoglu of Turkey, got Victoria Chu and Ayaka Suzuki as well of Japan, and they are also competing for a golden ticket. The best placed woman will take that 10th place. Struggling there, pumping to try and get back up on the foil. Is that a wind hole?
It's very bad when it's like this. He did the right move, try to... Oh no. That's really bad when it's like this. Because this is the typical of the foiling discipline. When you drop your foil, your board in the water, no more foiling.
There are a few foils down in the water though,
Yeah.
I see. So I just wonder if they've been caught out by a wind hole, or some sort of fluky change of direction.
Yeah, probably there is something something wrong. Because
Here come the chasing two. You've got a Amichis in the middle of the screen, and the white wing of Che also coming into this mark now, and they're closing in on our leader Rafferty Reid.
Yes, and Ernesto now is leading, and Rafferty, we can see Rafferty still in the water with his wing. Doesn't seem to have enough wind to get back in foiling. Pretty bad luck for him. He was pumping, but it was not enough pressure to stay in.
And that must be a terrible moment, mustn't it, when you're on the board and you can feel yourself dropping down, and you know where you're going, and you're just pumping and pumping to survive up on the foil, and you know there's nothing you can do.
No, exactly. When you start to lose the speed, and then the pressure on the foil is not the same, and then if you touch the water with the board, then you're over. Strange the angle that Ernesto he has now. It means that the wind shift to the left, because he has a completely different angle. Okay, November flag display. That means the race is abandoned. So this is the call from the race committee board. November flag, pretty fair, I must say, fair decision for the race committee and our race officer Mihai. And
wind conditions just not good enough for racing, and so if racing's abandoned, are they going to try again, or are we?
They can try again. Obviously, they have to call them back and restart all the procedures. So another rapid start, and but everyone need to be back close to the race committee.
Yeah,
and wait for the new signal.
It's all about making the race course as fair as possible for as many of the riders as possible, and if the race officials decide that the wind is too confused, too shifty, or not strong enough, then they quite rightly choose to abandon the race and start again.
Yes, I think we see really completely different angle from the Amicis. We saw Rafferty start swimming, I mean no more foiling, and also the Hong Kong China competitors, Chou Tse-hai, he was also struggling a lot and pumping more than usual to stay on foil. That means that the wind drop a lot and shift. So I think it was a really good call from them. It's better to have a fair race, and November was the right flag to choose.
We can see the wind speed dropping in the top right corner of your screen there, and wind direction changing quite a bit as well. So it's a very confused state out there at the moment. It's not quite what we were expecting. We thought it was going to be a good, strong, steady breeze today, but that hasn't materialised. I guess the sun hasn't come out. We've still got this layer of cloud that is acting like a sort of a lid, and maybe the sun will begin to burn that off as the day goes on. Here in Hong Kong, mind you, it's 10 past midday already.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, but it's true. The forecast. I mean, what the forecast predict is not exactly the wind that we are getting now. So way less. We can see on the top left screen, all the Wingfoiler start foiling again and quite fast. So probably some more puff is close to the inside of the bay. Let's see what's happened.
Okay, so we will stick with those pictures from the committee boat, and we'll see how that develops. But we're kind of just waiting really for the breeze to not so much kick in, but to steady, so that we've got a fair racetrack. So we'll take a break and we'll come back as soon as we have some news and action. 14 knots of shifty wind made for a tricky day at the World Cup Hong Kong. We had lead changes and splashdowns, strategies and equipment tested to the max. At stake was qualification to the medal series. Only the top 9 would go through. It was a standout day for a number of riders, especially for Thomas Proust, who was flying high after his first ever World Cup victory. The youngest member of the French team completed the day with no less than 5 victories. Julien Ratotti added to France's success with a victory and consistent top 5 finishes. In the women's fleet, teenager Vaina Pico was on top form. The French rider won all but one of the day's 8 races. Defending World Cup champion Maddalena Spanu started the day second overall, but failed to finish a single race because of problems with her new and untested wing. By contrast, the youth world champion Yana Li of China made an impressive step up to senior level, pushing more experienced riders and grabbing a handful of top 3 finishes.
I'm excited to be in the medal series. I'm looking forward to tomorrow and taking better starts and overall better technique.
As for Proust, he ended the day bubbling with confidence. Vindication for training every day through the winter break, even when it was only 5 degrees at home in La Rochelle.
So going in grand final, all I need is a win. I will push as fast as I can to grab this win. The medals
It was a day of firsts, the first day of the 2026 season, the first time the World Cup had come to Hong Kong, China. 41 men from 10 countries, 13 women from 7 had an early start off Stanley Main Beach to take advantage of the 13-knot breeze. Four-time champion Mathis Guillot is back to defend his title, and the Frenchman starts the year once again as the man to catch. Italy's Maddalena Spanu also carries a target on her back as last year's champion. There were great conditions outside the bay for the 4 long-distance races. The men, on a 3 nautical mile course, were hitting finishing times of around 12 minutes. Victories were shared. Oscar Leclerc of France took the first race. Poland's Kamil Mazowiecki celebrated his birthday by winning the second race and finished the day top of the leaderboard. Alessandro Tomasi was one of 2 Italians to grab a win. The other one, Francesco Capuzzo, overcame a poor start to the event to win the 4th race by a good margin from France's Julien Ratotti.
At one point, at the middle of the downwind, I looked around me, right, left, there was no one. So did I miss a buoy? But I said, no, impossible. This time it's not possible. And then once I was approaching the downwind mark, I had quite a good lead with Ratotti, was second at the end. And I said, okay, that's what I'm capable of.
Vina Pico dominated the women's fleet, winning 3 of the 4 races. It was an ominous performance, although defending champion Maddalena Spanu was never far behind and took a victory herself.
Yes, I'm so happy about my 2 wins. It's a very good day for me because I don't train a lot during these months because I am in the hospital. But now I'm very ready for this season, and it's a good beginning.
It was also a great day for Chinese riders Liu Yi Zhao and Yana Li, who both pushed hard and ended the day in the top 5 overall. A very traditional opening ceremony set the scene for 4 more days of exciting and strategic racing. "14 knots of shifty wind made for a tricky day at the World Cup Hong Kong. We had lead changes and splashdowns, strategies and equipment tested to the max. At stake was qualification to the medal series. Only the top 9 would go through. It was a standout day for a number of riders, especially for Thomas Proust, who was flying high after his first ever World Cup victory. The youngest member of the French team completed the day with no less than 5 victories. Julien Ratotti added to France's success with a victory and consistent top 5 finishes. In the women's fleet, teenager Vina Pico was on top form. The French rider won all but one of the day's 8 races. Defending World Cup champion Maddalena Spanu started the day second overall, but failed to finish a single race because of problems with her new and untested wing. By contrast, the youth world champion Yana Li of China made an impressive step up to senior level, pushing more experienced riders and grabbing a handful of top 3 finishes.
I'm excited to be in the medal series. I'm looking forward to tomorrow and taking better starts and overall better technique.
As for Proust, he ended the day bubbling with confidence. Vindication for training every day through the winter break, even when it was only 5 degrees at home in La Rochelle.
So going in grand final, all I need is a win. I will push as fast as I can to grab this win.
The medal series on Sunday will decide our men's and women's champions, but in these conditions, it'll be tough to predict our winners. It was a day of firsts, the first day of the 2026 season, the first time the World Cup had come to Hong Kong, China. 41 men from 10 countries, 13 women from 7 had an early start off Stanley Main Beach to take advantage of the 13-knot breeze. Four-time champion Mathis Guillot is back to defend his title, and the Frenchman starts the year once again as the man to catch. Italy's Maddalena Spanu also carries a target on her back as last year's champion. There were great conditions outside the bay for the 4 long-distance races. The men, on a 3 nautical mile course, were hitting finishing times of around 12 minutes. Victories were shared. Oscar Leclerc of France took the first race. Poland's Kamil Mazowiecki celebrated his birthday by winning the second race and finished the day top of the leaderboard. Alessandro Tomasi was one of 2 Italians to grab a win. The other one, Francesco Capuzzo, overcame a poor start to the event to win the 4th race by a good margin from France's Julien Ratotti.
At one point, at middle of the downwind, I looked around me, right, left, there was no one. Say, did I miss a buoy? But I said, no, impossible. This time it's not possible. And then once I was approaching the downwind mark, I had quite a good lead with Ratotti was second at the end. And I said, okay, that's what I'm capable of.
Vina Pico dominated the women's fleet, winning 3 of the 4 races. It was an ominous performance, although defending champion Maddalena Spanu was never far behind and took a victory herself.
Yes, I'm so happy about my 2 wins. It's a very good day for me because I don't train a lot during these months because I am in the hospital. But now I'm very ready for this season, and it's a good beginning.
It was also a great day for Chinese riders Liu Yi Zhao and Yana Li, who both pushed hard and ended the day in the top 5 overall. A very traditional opening ceremony set the scene for 4 more days of exciting and strategic racing. "14 knots of shifty wind made for a tricky day at the World Cup Hong Kong. We had lead changes and splashdowns, strategies and equipment tested to the max. At stake was qualification to the medal series. Only the top 9 would go through. It was a standout day for a number of riders, especially for Thomas Proust, who was flying high after his first ever World Cup victory. The youngest member of the French team completed the day with no less than 5 victories. Julien Ratotti added to France's success with a victory and consistent top 5 finishes. In the women's fleet, teenager Vina Pico was on top form. The French rider won all but one of the day's 8 races. Defending World Cup champion Maddalena Spanu started the day 2nd overall, but failed to finish a single race because of problems with her new and untested wing. By contrast, the youth world champion Yana Li of China made an impressive step up to senior level, pushing more experienced riders and grabbing a handful of top 3 finishes.
I'm excited to be in the medal series. I'm looking forward to tomorrow and taking better starts and overall better technique.
As for Proust, he ended the day bubbling with confidence. Vindication for training every day through the winter break, even when it was only 5 degrees at home in La Rochelle.
So going in grand final, all I need is a win. I will push as fast as I can to grab this win.
The medal series on Sunday will decide our men's and women's champions, but in these conditions, it'll be tough to predict our winners. It was a day of firsts, the first day of the 2026 season, the first time the World Cup had come to Hong Kong, China. 41 men from 10 countries, 13 women from 7 had an early start off Stanley Main Beach to take advantage of the 13-knot breeze. Four-time champion Mathis Guillot is back to defend his title, and the Frenchman starts the year once again as the man to catch. Italy's Maddalena Spanu also carries a target on her back as last year's champion. There were great conditions outside the bay for the 4 long-distance races. The men, on a 3 nautical mile course, were hitting finishing times of around 12 minutes. Victories were shared. Oscar Leclerc of France took the first race. Poland's Kamil Manowiecki celebrated his birthday by winning the second race and finished the day top of the leaderboard. Alessandro Tomasi was one of 2 Italians to grab a win. The other one, Francesco Capuzzo, overcame a poor start to the event to win the 4th race by a good margin from France's Julien Ratotti.
At one point, at the middle of the downwind, I looked around me, right, left, there was no one. So did I miss a buoy? But I said, no, impossible. This time it's not possible. And then once I was approaching the downwind mark, I had quite a good lead with Ratotti was second at the end. And I said, okay, that's what I'm capable of.
Was on top form. The French rider won all but one of the day's 8 races. Defending World Cup champion Maddalena Spanu started the day 2nd overall, but failed to finish a single race because of problems with her new and untested wing. By contrast, the youth world champion Yana Li of China made an impressive step up to senior level, pushing more experienced riders and grabbing a handful of top 3 finishes.
I'm excited to be in the medal series. I'm looking forward to tomorrow and taking better starts and overall better technique.
As for Proust, he ended the day bubbling with confidence. Vindication for training every day through the winter break, even when it was only 5 degrees at home in La Rochelle.
So going in grand final, all I need is a win. I will push as fast as I can to grab this win.
The medal series on Sunday will decide our men's and women's champions, but in these conditions, it'll be tough to predict our winners. It was a day of firsts, the first day of the 2026 season, the first time the World Cup had come to Hong Kong, China. 41 men from 10 countries, 13 women from 7 had an early start off Stanley Main Beach to take advantage of the 13-knot breeze. Four-time champion Mathis Guillot is back to defend his title, and the Frenchman starts the year once again as the man to catch. Italy's Maddalena Spanu also carries a target on her back as last year's champion. There were great conditions outside the bay for the 4 long-distance races. The men, on a 3 nautical mile course, were hitting finishing times of around 12 minutes. Victories were shared. Oscar Leclerc of France took the first race. Poland's Kamil Mazowiecki celebrated his birthday by winning the second race and finished the day top of the leaderboard. Alessandro Tomasi was one of 2 Italians to grab a win. The other one, Francesco Capuzzo, overcame a poor start to the event to win the 4th race by a good margin from France's Julien Ratotti.
At one point, at middle of the downwind, I look around me, right, left, there was no one. Say, did I miss a buoy? But I say, no, impossible. This time it's not possible. And then once I was approaching the downwind mark, I had quite a good lead with Ratotti was second at the end. And I said, okay, that's what I'm capable of.
Vaina Pico dominated the women's fleet, winning 3 of the 4 races. It was an ominous performance, although defending champion Maddalena Spano was never far behind and took a victory herself.
Yes, I'm so happy about my 3 wins. It's a very good day for me because I don't train a lot during these months because I am in the hospital. But now I'm very ready for this season and it's a good beginning.
It was also a great day for Chinese riders Liu Yi Zhao and Yana Li, who both pushed hard and ended the day in the top 5 overall. A very traditional opening ceremony set the scene for 4 more days of exciting and strategic racing. "14 knots of shifty wind made for a tricky day at the World Cup Hong Kong. We had lead changes and splashdowns, strategies and equipment tested to the max. At stake was qualification to the medal series. Only the top 9 would go through. It was a standout day for a number of riders, especially for Thomas Proust, who was flying high after his first ever World Cup victory. The youngest member of the French team completed the day with no less than 5 victories. Julien Ratotti added to France's success with a victory and consistent top 5 finishes. In the women's fleet, teenager Vaina Pico was on top form. The French rider won all but one of the day's 8 races. Defending World Cup champion Maddalena Spano started the day second overall, but failed to finish a single race because of problems with her new and untested wing. By contrast, the youth world champion Yana Li of China made an impressive step up to senior level, pushing more experienced riders and grabbing a handful of top 3 finishes.
I'm excited to be in the medal series. I'm looking forward to tomorrow and taking better starts and overall better technique.
As for Proust, he ended the day bubbling with confidence. Vindication for training every day through the winter break, even when it was only 5 degrees at home in La Rochelle.
So going in grand final, all I need is a win. I will push as fast as I can to grab this win.
The medal series on Sunday will decide our men's and women's champions, but in these conditions, it'll be tough to predict our winners. It was a day of firsts, the first day of the 2026 season, the first time the World Cup had come to Hong Kong, China. 41 men from 10 countries, 13 women from 7 had an early start off Stanley Main Beach to take advantage of the 13-knot breeze. Four-time champion Mathis Guillot is back to defend his title, and the Frenchman starts the year once again as the man to catch. Italy's Maddalena Spanu also carries a target on her back as last year's champion. There were great conditions outside the bay for the 4 long-distance races. The men, on a 3 nautical mile course, were hitting finishing times of around 12 minutes. Victories were shared. Oscar Leclerc of France took the first race. Poland's Kamil Manowiecki celebrated his birthday by winning the second race and finished the day top of the leaderboard. Alessandro Tomasi was one of 2 Italians to grab a win. The other one, Francesco Capuzzo, overcame a poor start to the event to win the 4th race by a good margin from France's Julien Ratotti.
At one point, at middle of the downwind, I looked around me, right, left, there was no one. So did I miss a buoy? But I said, no, impossible. This time it's not possible. And then once I was approaching the downwind mark, I had quite a good lead with Ratotti was second at the end. And I said, okay, that's what I'm capable of.
Vina Pico dominated the women's fleet, winning 3 of the 4 races. It was an ominous performance, although defending champion Maddalena Spanu was never far behind and took a victory herself.
Yes, I'm so happy about my 2 wins. It's a very good day for me because I don't train a lot during these months because I am in the hospital. But now I'm very ready for this season, and it's a good beginning.
It was also a great day for Chinese riders Liu Yi Zhao and Yana Li, who both pushed hard and ended the day in the top 5 overall. A very traditional opening ceremony set the scene for 4 more days of exciting and strategic racing. "14 knots of shifty wind made for a tricky day at the World Cup Hong Kong. We had lead changes and splashdowns, strategies and equipment tested to the max. At stake was qualification to the medal series. Only the top 9 would go through. It was a standout day for a number of riders, especially for Thomas Proust, who was flying high after his first ever World Cup victory. The youngest member of the French team completed the day with no less than 5 victories. Julien Ratotti added to France's success with a victory and consistent top 5 finishes. In the women's fleet, teenager Vina Pico was on top form. The French rider won all but one of the day's 8 races. Welcome back to our live coverage of the 2026 Wingfoil Racing World Cup Hong Kong competition, and we are about to get the golden ticket race underway. I'm Alec Wilkinson. Mirko Babini is in the commentary box with me. And so this is the golden ticket. It's a rabbit start. You can see the speedboat at the top of the start line. It comes in. The riders have to start behind that boat. So the boat is opening the start line and they're all swarming to the back of it. But obviously those that decide to come up this right-hand side will have had a delayed start. So we've got plenty of riders here. It's a mixed fleet of men and women. The winning man and the winning woman will win that golden ticket into the medal series, which will get underway as soon as this race is done.
Yes, exactly. We can see they are pretty close. The front pack with Ernesto De Amicis and Chao Sehai, Denny, OK, Lucian in Halvin, and Rafferty is in the center of the course. I tried to say a couple of names.
Very well done.
Yeah, not easy. I challenged myself.
Now we've attempted to get this race away once already. I think it was about an hour ago, but the wind just wasn't steady enough, so we had to abandon that and try again. But what is interesting here is that our leading riders here were the same leading riders that we had in our first attempt at getting the race done. So Rafferty Reid, the only Briton in the fleet here in Hong Kong right now. Izumu Sakai of Hong Kong, China, and Mac Wong as well. He's in third. So some strong local representation. They know these waters well, and I was just looking to see where Rafik Kickaboy is. I can't see him in that top 8 right now, but he was the best placed Hong Konger in the fleet, finishing in 11th, so just missing out on the top 9.
Now it seems to be an 8.
We got
7,
him. Okay.
yeah. He's getting outside of the pack. Probably the start wasn't that good for him.
So Ernesto De Amicis and Rafferty Reid. De Amicis finished 10th, just outside the top 9 qualifying cut. Rafferty Reid was down in 13th in qualifying, but those are now leading the way. Izumu Sakai of Hong Kong, China was 16th after qualifying.
Oh, we can see pumping was Rafferty, I guess. Start pumping on port. Ernesto is going to the other side, and again they are outside. They move the course. They are a little bit far away outside of the bay, and but something didn't change. It's the wind shift. Quite shifty.
Quite shifty, yeah. And the wind strength at kind of the bottom end of where we want to see it, really, around 9 knots.
Yeah, you can see from the drone it's easier to spot the wind, how patchy it is, close to the windward mark. Ernesto, he make probably the right decision to go as first to the right side of the course. Let's see if he's able to round the top mark without few extra tack.
So we're on an upwind downwind course, and then there's a reach to the finish off the top mark, but it's around a 20-minute race, this, and that is Ernesto De Amicis of Italy round the mark in first place, and he has already a huge advantage over the chasing pack. But now the difficulty for De Amicis, because we saw this in reverse. We saw Rafferty Reid out in front in the first attempt at getting this race away. Rafferty Reid was leading, and then he just struggled with the wind. The wind shifted, or it disappeared, and in he went, and was soon caught by the others before the race was cancelled. So De Amicis now, his difficulty will be to find the wind, stay in the wind, and stay consistent all the way to the end.
Yes, exactly. And it's just if you make a mistake, you are on the wrong side of the course and you stop foiling, then it will be really a problem to get into foiling again, because the wind doesn't seem to be really good. So you round the mark. Just keep pumping.
Yeah, it's hard work out in these conditions. And Amici is very excited about his new wing. He's done a new deal with Zauli, the Liguria-based manufacturer. They've moved now from Sanremo, just down the road, along the coast in northwest Italy. And he's very excited. He says it's much stiffer, more brittle wing, very fast, but obviously it takes time to use. And we've seen a lot of the guys out there with new equipment, with new wings, and in many ways this first event of the season is a way of testing that, getting used to the new stuff.
Yes, and mainly with this double profile wing where they are really stiff, and you need really to understand how to keep the right angle and to keep your hand into the boom properly, and to start to also use the wing really on different angle and really front forward as much as you can, and then you can push more with your front foot into the foil to have more speed. So it's a completely different asset.
So just seen Dermichis pass through that bottom gate, heading upwind now for the second time. So he's halfway through this course.
Yeah, because the course is full second upwind legs and then straight to the finish line with the short reaching. Yeah, really important not to, important is to judge the wind. Try to look far away.
And I think they've moved the course from where we were earlier. They've moved it a little bit further out of the bay to try and catch. There's strong trade winds coming in off the. Oh! He's in.
No.
He's lost it. It's exactly what we were worried might happen. It's what we said he had to guard against.
Exactly to Ernesto. It happened exactly what happened just on the previous golden ticket race that has been abandoned to Rafferty Reed, almost in the same position, just before. No, it was already on the halfway to the second upwind.
Well, hang on a minute. So he's back up on his board and he's pumping away. He's trying to get enough speed to get up onto the foil. And it looks like he's done it.
Okay.
So great recovery from Dermichis. That looked like disaster for the Italian, but he's recovered well. He'll have expended a lot of energy to do that, but he has recovered. He's back up and he's foiling and flying, and he's still in the lead, which tells you just how big a lead he'd managed to build up. But there's not much speed out there, though, is there?
No, and then now he's afraid that this is why he keep changing angle, because if he try to be too much against the wind, he might lose his foiling. So it's really important to have less angle. We saw this kind of technique on the America's Cup. When you risk to lose the foiling, you just veer away and you almost come back. And then when you get speed again, then you can go back upwind. They are doing exactly the same thing. Yeah,
Right. So
he's in the center of exactly in the center of the second upwind leg.
Yeah. And trying to make his way through the traffic that's coming down in the opposite direction. So behind him, let's have a look at the battle between the Hong Kongers, because Rafferty Reed has now dropped down to 5th, and quite some distance behind. But Izumu Sakai and Kikaboy Rafik fighting it out for 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah.
We'll see better when we go back to the graphic exactly where they are. So Kikaboy is bottom left. And, there's some distance behind Izumu Sakai.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not safe until the end, but Kikaboy Rafik is a couple of 100 meters behind.
We should explain to those who maybe haven't seen these wings up close. they can fill with water when you fall in the water. So it takes a lot of practice and expertise not to pretty much drown it, and so that you can then get back up and foil again.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, this kind of wing, the double surface wing, is really important not to make it wet, not to get it wet. And if you crash and you stay in the water longer, then the water can get in. And also if there is alpha kilo or alpha liter of water inside, it make a lot of difference, and you can really feel it. And then also the time that it gets dry again, also it is difficult. So it's a kind of no crash. Just go with that, and please keep it dry and keep it foil.
Well, on this occasion, we've seen Ernesto De Amicis recover from splashing down, but he was very careful to try and keep the foil out of the water above his head for as much of the time as possible. Because it has vents in it to allow for air circulation that can fill with water.
Yeah. No, and you can see from the drone, you can really spot when there is a good wind, because the angle of the board is obviously is more against the wind, and is getting really more speed straight forward. Is going upwind with an average of 18, 19 knots. Now he's tacking because he crossed the left line of the course, and so he has to do absolutely another tack before rounding the top mark and then going directly to the finish line. Pretty close.
That's the mark that he's aiming for. He's heading out over to that right-hand ley line. And you could see when he did hit that puff of breeze just how much faster he was travelling, and how much faster than the rest of the fleet that were further down. So a nice manoeuvre there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can see the difference of breeze on the water surface.
Yes, I think he is able. Yes, he's rounding the mark. Now the last reaching to the finish. So he was in 10 and winning the golden ticket. He keep his position. So it will be the 10 competitors.
So Ernesto De Amicis of Italy, who finished 10th overall in qualifying, has won the golden ticket race, and that means he will take the 10th and final place in the medal series. And he celebrates with a little bit of a jump, but he needs to conserve his energy, because normally he would have an hour's break or so before going into the medal series. But I think the plan now is to get the medal series started as quickly as they can. They've called the finalists onto the water. They're making their way. To the course. But let's just have a look at the rest of the fleet as they come in. It looks like it's going to be a second place for Izumu Sakai of Hong Kong, China. Chao Tse Hai
And Kikaboy Rafik.
third and fourth.
Yeah, Rafferty dropped down to 7.
Well, a lot seem to have depended on the start, because Rafferty Reid in the abandoned race got a really good start and was leading and built up a big lead. I think De Amicis got the better start this time and just built and built and built on that lead. We're looking at second place in the golden ticket race. It counts for nothing, I'm afraid. It's a tough one. You're in it to win it, or you're out. And Izumu Sakai has raced well, gets his second place, but he's going home, which isn't far for him.
Yeah, exactly. No. I mean, we don't know exactly where he's living, but for sure closer than us. Still on the center of the course, still quite far away from the finish line.
Still approaching that last mark.
Yeah, last mark.
Upwind.
So the lead of Ernesto was not bad, eh?
Yeah, considering he fell in.
Yeah. So Kikaboy probably can make third.
I think Chao Tse-Hei is going to round that mark well ahead of Kikaboy. It's hard to say on this graphic, isn't it? Because there's a little bit of a delay as well from the trackers.
Let's see.
And
We will have the probably the images now.
Oh, it's a great run into the finish line, though. They look very close. Chao and Kikaboy coming into the finish line. Which one will take third place? It's just about pride now, and it looks like Chao Tse-Hei will take third, and Rafik Kikaboy will take fourth place.
Yeah.
Rafik Kikaboy, he's had a good competition here in Hong Kong. The 2 times Asian champion, finished 11th overall after qualifying. He was only let down really by 2 very poor results in the last races of the day yesterday. And confirmation then of our top 4. But most importantly, confirmation that Ernesto de Amicis has won the golden ticket to go into the medal series, which gets underway very shortly.
Yeah. Here we close.
So there we are. We will let Michis catch his breath, and they'll be resetting the course, and hopefully in not very long, just keep an eye on the screen. We'll let you know in the graphic on the screen how long it is to the start of the medal series for both the men and the women. It was a day of firsts, the first day of the 2026 season, the first time the World Cup had come to Hong Kong, China. 41 men from 10 countries, 13 women from 7 had an early start off Stanley Main Beach to take advantage of the 13-knot breeze. 4-time champion Mathis Guillot is back to defend his title, and the Frenchman starts the year once again as the man to catch. Italy's Maddalena Spanu also carries a target on her back as last year's champion. There were great conditions outside the bay for the 4 long-distance races. The men, on a 3 nautical mile course, were hitting finishing times of around 12 minutes. Victories were shared. Oscar Leclerc of France took the first race. Poland's Kamil Mazowiecki celebrated his birthday by winning the second race and finished the day top of the leaderboard. Alessandro Tomasi was one of 2 Italians to grab a win. The other one, Francesco Capuzzo, overcame a poor start to the event to win the 4th race by a good margin from France's Julien Ratotti.
At one point, at middle of the downwind, I looked around me, right, left, there was no one. So did I miss a buoy? But I said, no, impossible. This time it's not possible. And then once I was approaching the downwind mark, I had quite a good lead with Ratotti was second at the end. And I said, okay, that's what I'm capable of.
Vina Pico dominated the women's fleet, winning 3 of the 4 races. It was an ominous performance, although defending champion Maddalena Spanu was never far behind and took a victory herself.
Yes, I'm so happy about my 2 wins. It's a very good day for me because I don't train a lot during these months because I am in the hospital. But now I'm very ready for this season, and it's a good beginning.
It was also a great day for Chinese riders Liu Yi Zhao and Yana Li, who both pushed hard and ended the day in the top 5 overall. A very traditional opening ceremony set the scene for 4 more days of exciting and strategic racing. Welcome to our live coverage of the 2026 Wingfoil Racing World Cup Hong Kong. I'm Alec Wilkinson. This is Mirko Babini with me in the commentary box, the president of the IWSA, and it is the medal series. Welcome to Hong Kong, where it is lunchtime, about 1:30. If you're joining us from Europe, well, it's very early in the morning, so well done. We appreciate the effort. It also happens to be perfectly timed in between the Winter Olympics coverage, because everyone's in bed in Milan right now, so there's no other sport going on at the moment.
They watch us during breakfast. It's good.
Yeah, that's right. So we are going to go out onto the water very soon, because in the next few minutes or so, it is the start of the medal series. The women are going to go first with the quarterfinals. Then it'll be the men's quarterfinal, then the women's semi, men's semi, and then we'll have the grand finals for the women, followed by the grand final of the men. So it's, as you can see on the screen, it's just under 2 minutes now to the start of the quarterfinal. We have got 3 riders from Hong Kong, China. We have a Turkish rider and a rider from China. So a really good, varied representation, and it's good to see that the local riders have made it into the medal series. So, representing Turkey, the woman who qualified in 10th place, Anastasia Varichoglu. Then we've got Tang Pui Ka of Hong Kong, Chan Hei Man of Hong Kong, and the other Hong Konger is Tsai Tian Yu Claire, or Claire Tsai as we know her, and from China, Yinwo Dong. Those are our 5 quarterfinalists. It's a new format today, and I will let you get a word in, Mirko, in a moment, but we've got a lot of admin to get through. There's a new format for the medal series at the moment that will see the top 2 riders who qualified straight to the grand final. Each one of them will start with a bullet, meaning that they only need a single win to take the title, and we've done away with the repechage. So if you were tuning in expecting the repechage, that's gone, and we've now got 5 riders in the quarterfinals instead. Okay, let's focus on the race then. 15 seconds to go, and already you can see them approaching the start line. Dong, Tang, Chan and Sei all coming in, and they will be pressing the trigger on 0, and it looks like that's going to be a clean start.
Yeah, some of them are little bit late, but we understand that all the patching, shifty and gusty condition, they keep the challenge open until the very end of the course. The wind seems good, 14 knots, 15 knots, really good.
So Yinwo Dong actually qualified in 6th place. So was strongest in qualifying. Chan Hei Man of Hong Kong was 8th in qualifying, and just squeezing into that 9th place before the cut-off, Tang Pui Ka, also of Hong Kong, China. She qualified 9th.
Yeah, it's going to be a short track course, between 6 and 7 minutes maximum, 6 minutes probably. It will be the target time for the short course race, just upwind, downwind, upwind, downwind, and straight short reaching on the left. So it's gonna be really tactical, because in such a short race you can't lose any single fraction of a second, because every single second is more than 25 meters. Then it can be all of the 5 wingfoiler within the space, so it's really important.
Yeah, now looking out across the bay there, I mean we are onshore looking out onto the bay, but the riders have been taken further out of the bay where the wind is a little bit stronger. So Obviously, we've been watching the golden ticket races going on earlier on this morning, Mirko, but as you see here on the screen, do the conditions look, well, they look better than they were?
No, absolutely. Now at least we have the wind that was predicted. It just started blowing a little bit later than expected because we saw how they struggled during the golden ticket race, and the first one was abandoned, and so they had to repeat everything. But now the wind is still shifty, but it's, I mean, always more than 12 knots, with some gusts close to 16, which is really good.
Feels a little bit more similar to qualifying day yesterday afternoon when things settled down. But Yunwo Dong of China seems to have the advantage here, and very soon as she approaches that mark, we're going to get a much better. Right, so she's hitting that right-hand lay line now.
So jibing, going to the gate. Yeah, and Victoria, so the Turkish, the one that was that she was starting late. I don't know if it's right or not. Probably she was in the water. This is why we see her listed on the left side.
Okay, so we need
on
really
the rank.
confirmation of that fifth racer.
Yeah, probably.
But there's no doubting the leading three. And remember, it's the top two we're actually interested in, because it'll be the top two that qualify to the semi-final.
Exactly. Yeah, the good things of the format is that quarterfinal and semi-final are straightforward. So the top two move, they advance, and then get ready just for the grand final. So it's only the grand final that it might run maximum 3 times, no more than 3 times, just to have a winner. But the semi-final and the quarter-final are just one shot, straightforward. Top two advance.
And at the moment, the top two, according to our tracker here, is Yin Wudong and Tang Pui Ka. Which is interesting, because Tang Pui Ka was qualified 9th. So if anything, would had a weaker qualifying session than the others in this quarter-final.
Okay, they are coming for the last rounding mark. Queen Odong. And then all the way down and straight to the finish. Here is the last rounding mark.
So 19 years old and leading the quarter-final, Yin Wudong of China. Wrapping this up. And it looked like there was a fair amount of space between second and third.
Yeah. Tang Pui Ka, the second, quite behind, just in the lane line on the right side. Soon she will round the top mark as well.
So ahead of Yin Wudong, you can see the finish line, and she will be seeing that finish line with relief, because she'll know that she has done enough to make it into the semi-final. And what a semi-final, what opponents are waiting for her. Maddalena Spanu, the defending World Cup champion. Izet Segura, former winner of many World Cup events. But it's Yin Wudong of China who takes the win in the women's quarter-final to go through to the semi. And what about the battle now for second place? A long, long way back. Chan Heiman and Tang Pui Ka.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Claire Tsai Tian
Yeah.
will bring up the rear. At the moment, Chan Heyman just has the advantage. Tang Pui Ka, I think. Well, I think we're losing. Either she's fallen in, or we're losing signal on her tracker. We'll wait until we get live pictures to confirm that.
Or probably she might crash close to the mark, or she will just start moving quickly within the course if it was a problem, signal problem from the tracker. No, now she's moving 14, 15 knots of speed.
Well, she's going to have to move a lot faster than that
Yeah,
if she's going to
exactly.
catch second place.
No, yeah. I'm pretty sure that Setian Euclair, she will definitely score the second spot for the semi-final. Crossing the gate now, straight to the finish line.
I think yeah. I think
So
Claire
it's Tang Pui Ka,
Tse-Tian
okay.
has got another,
No,
has
it's
another
another
lap
lap.
to do. Yeah,
Then it's
okay.
Tang Pui Ka.
Yeah, so Tang
Okay.
Pui Ka is our second place rider coming into the finish line, and she will go through to take up the second and final quarter-final space, semi-final space.
And the next quarter is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I guess with more action with respect of the girl on the previous heat. Oscar Leclerc, Francesco Capuzzo, Nicolo Spanu, Gregorio Pugliese and Ernesto De Amicis, the golden ticket winner. They are all five in really, I would say, warm quarterfinal heat. A lot of level, a lot of good athletes.
Absolutely. So here we go.
4 Italian and 1 French.
That's right. So all the men in the medal series are indeed Italian or French. And I was just looking at that flag coming
Oh,
up. That's
no.
not what we want to see.
AP must be some problem with the mark somewhere, most probably, or because let's see what's happened.
I have to wait for some notifications to come off the water. But you're looking at the principal race officer, Mikhail, with the hat, and an army of Hong Kong volunteers who have worked their socks off over the last week to put on what's been a great show. Unfortunately, we lost 2 days of racing because of no wind, but that couldn't be helped. But they've really welcomed us, and the riders, I know, have had a fantastic time around the central areas of Hong Kong.
Okay, it was a quick adjustment of the course, probably. We see how it communicate. The principal race officer and Larry, the local race officer, is looking on the pin, so probably they fix the starting line. And we are ready to go.
So ready to go with 5 riders for the men's quarter-final. It's Oscar Leclerc of France, and chasing him down will be 4 Italians, Francesco Capuzzo, Niccolò Spano and Gregorio Pugliese, as well as Ernesto De Amicis, who won the golden ticket. So Oscar Leclerc, he qualified in 6th place. had some inconsistent results really that dragged him down, but he was always up there and challenging the leading pack in qualifying, and often was on the shoulder of the leaders. Just couldn't quite hang on there in Gold Fleet to take a win. But the nice thing about this competition and the conditions that we've seen, Mirko, has been just how many different winners we've had. And I think that's a sign of several things. One, the amount of training. I think it reflects the amount of training that's been done by especially some of the younger, less experienced riders who've now stepped up, but also changes in equipment for the new season.
Less than, we are within the 2 minutes of the start. It's going to be interesting to see how many they will start on port or on starboard, because we have to remember with the 5 competitors, the starting line is shorter and you don't have a lot of space to play with.
Francesco Capuzzo there in the centre of the screen had a good first day of racing when he got his only victory of the competition so far. And how different are the tactics when you're on this start line with only 5 of you compared to when you're doing fleet racing, which is what they've done throughout qualifying?
I mean, it's a different tactics. First of all, if you are too early, then you do not have the space to cross the starting line and you're out, because then you get to the end, you have to maneuver, rather a jibe or attack, and then go to the other side, which then is over. So it's really important to spot the time distance, which is the typical exercise how to improve your starting skill, and stay far away from the starting line, and then approach only over the last 20 to 30 seconds, which is now you will see at 15 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds away, they will start to get maximum speed and then cross the starting line. You see they are on the shade of the starting line at 6 seconds just before the start.
So the men's quarter-final is underway. De Amicis with the blue wing leading the riders in from the committee boat end of the start line. But already 3 have gone left, 2 have gone right. Who will have taken the right decision? We'll find out at the top.
Yes, we have Francesco Capuzzo on the bottom, and we saw the perfect start of the Ernesto De Amicis. It was on starboard with the blue sail, so he hit with the maximum speed the starting line and at 20.7 knots, really good. And the best one from the start analysis, 30 centimeter, 0.3 meter, he didn't went out of the starting line.
Yeah, just how close is that? It's hair's breadth.
Yes, exactly. Well done. This is the perfect time distance exercise.
Gregorio Pugliese of Italy out in front. The man who qualified in 9th place. And he's round that top mark ahead of Francesco Capuzzo. Then comes Nicolo Spanu, De Amicis. So his good start he couldn't take advantage of. No. And the only Frenchman in the race, Oscar Leclerc, struggling back in 5th. Remember, it's the top 2 who will go through to the semi-final.
Yeah, so that seems that Gregorio is in front. It pay off more the left side of the course. So let's see what they're going to do on the second upwind leg, because obviously they are all in 5. They will take a look between each other and they will take the advantage to change their tactics on the second upwind legs. Gregorio obviously now is going back to the same side because he Oh, interesting. He tacked to the other side, probably to cover and not to let Francesco Capuzzo to take an advantage himself alone. So it was a really good move from Gregorio. He went to the other side and then he tacked, covering Capuzzo and follow him. Nicolo Spano is a little bit higher, but is not faster than him.
So Capuzzo coming up to that ley line, and Pugliese
Decided to
tacking
tack,
off
yeah.
to the left, just away from Capuzzo, who's following him now. Here comes Spanu. He got a couple of podium finishes yesterday, did Spanu, in qualifying, but struggled for top 5 finishes once they split into Goldfleet.
Yeah, very good move from Gregorio. He spotted a good gust and he tacked way earlier than Capuzzo, and he got good lead. And now is the last downwind. Big mistake for Capuzzo, I must say. He went really too long on the right side, far away from the ley line. I don't know what's. Probably was just focusing on the gust, and he missed the moment to tack on the proper place.
So downwind they go again, and Pugliese still has this. And the battle now for second place, Capuzzo or Spanu. Who's it going to be? There's not much of this race left.
And only 2 advance.
That's right. So Gregorio Pugliese gets the win. And without a doubt, his best result of the competition so far. But who has got it behind? Who's got that second place? Is it Nicolo Spanu or Capuzzo? Difficult to see from this angle.
Spanu.
You're going for Spanu.
Yeah,
Spanu. Then comes Capuzzo.
And then
in the end, actually, Capuzzo was quite a distance behind. Then comes De Amici and Oscar Leclerc, who has been 5th all the way around. Not quite sure what happened. We'll have to get the story. We'll let you know the details of Oscar Leclerc's race on our social channels. So well done to Pugliese and Spanu. They progress to the semi-finals, where they will meet Poland's Kamil Manowiecki, Julien Ratotti of France, and Mathis Guillot, the defending world champion of France. Those 3 are awaiting our 2 winners, Pugliese and Spanu, in the semi-finals.
Yeah, pretty interesting this result. The 2 that were 8 and 9, they qualify for the semi-final. So next.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing about, when we have the next is the women's semi-final. It's interesting, isn't it? Because often the golden ticket is in the end won by the person who came 10th or 11th. They're generally not far off the pace. But for an 8th and 9th place qualifiers to make it through to the semi, that's more unusual.
Exactly. So good move for Gregorio Pugliese and Nicolo Spanu that just overtake Capuzzo straight before the gate. It was a big battle between them. So shortly we will see the warning signal for semi-final girl, where we have Izet Segura from Spain, Madalena Spanu, again unusual to see her on semi-final.
We'll have to unpick her competition.
And Liu Xiao from China, and then we have Tang Buika from the quarterfinal, and Hinu Dong.
Well, at the moment, we've got 4 listed on the competition there on our tracker.
Who is missing? Let's see. Izet Segura there, Madalena, Liu Xiao, Yuni Dong, Tang Puika.
Well, as they come into the start line, we'll see whether we've got 4 or 5 for this final, and if one of them has dropped out. So yes, Maddalena Spanu, what to say? I mean, she dominated the competition the whole season last year, won every single event, and so certainly I don't think we've ever... I can't remember the last time Spanu was in a semi-final and hadn't gone straight through to the final. I think
Honestly, I think
never.
I think never. Always
She struggled in Silverplana, I remember last year.
Probably.
But so we'd have to check that. But either way, it is very unusual to see her there.
Probably you're right. Yeah.
Yesterday she pulled out of the final races of qualifying. She just couldn't get her wing to work, basically. She couldn't get up onto her foils, and then abandoned towards the end of the day and said, "Look, I've had enough. I can't keep trying this. It's too exhausting." Chatting to her afterwards, she says, "Oh, I was just a bit of an idiot. I just wasn't doing things properly. I need to sort out my wing." But it was more telling, speaking to her dad, who said that she's got a new wing. She hasn't done much training with it. And that's because she's had exams over the winter periods during the closed season, and they decided that she should concentrate on revising and getting those exams, which she passed, so well done, Maddalena. But now she's got a little bit of catching up to do, and that is why she is starting from the semi-final here with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go.
Yes. On the tracker now we have all 5 semi-finalists. Girl.
Yeah, so we can confirm now. On the start line will be Yinwu Dong of China, her compatriot Liu Yi Zhao, Maddalena Spanu of Italy, Izet Segura of Spain, and we have Hong Kong's Tang Pui Ka as the 5th rider.
And again, the top 2 will advance to the grand final. Okay, less than 2 minutes to go.
Talk us through those flags.
Yeah, we have the green flags and the black flags, which is the rule that apply for the last 2 minutes. If someone is out, then it will be directly DSQ, and if there will be recall, that there is no way to absolutely restart. Usually the black flag is really, let's say, it's helpful because they keep a safer, to play safer, the competitors not to get out, and is always the flag to use. So almost a minute to go.
Almost a minute to go. Let's just run through our semi-finalists. So Izet Segura finished qualifying in 3rd. Maddalena Spanu was 4th, so they automatically came through to the semis. And coming through, winning, Liu Yi Zhao finished 5th, so they were automatic qualifiers. Yinwu Dong and Tang Pui Ko, they've already got a race under their belts, the quarterfinals, which they came 1st and 2nd in. So they will be warmed up, focused and ready to go and take on some of the big names from the women's fleet in Wingfoil racing. 20 seconds to go.
Let's see how they play the start. It seems they are still pretty far away from the starting line. 6 seconds, okay. We can see Maddalena and Izet, she's here. Perfect, okay. Maddalena, Izet and Liu Xiao, they start on starboard.
So looking at at the early positions there. We've got off on the left of the far side of the screen is Magdalena Spanu. We've got Izet Segura and Liu Yizhao, and
Xinu Dong on the right side.
has gone to the right.
Yeah. Together with Tang Pui Ka,
That's, yeah.
which
They've got some speed up, haven't they? The breeze is up. Got about 16 knots out there.
so the minimum distance, talking about the analysis, 009. So it was a high risk, I must say,
From Spanu.
for Spanu,
Yeah.
and she risked a lot with the black flag, I must say.
And 0.3 seconds
Yeah.
from being disqualified.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, she played well. Don't do it again. Or do it at maximum the same.
So there we are. That's how we're looking halfway up the first leg, with China first and second, and Spanu looking to come back from fourth place. It's once again only the top two that will go through to the next round, which is no less the grand final.
What's happened to the left side of the course? On the left side of the course, for whatever reason, they get stuck in somewhere, and Izet and Madalena, they are far behind Xinyu Dong and Liu Hi Xiao.
Well,
Come on. That's not expected, and
Yeah.
with respect of everyone. But I mean, one
the tables,
is the world champion.
the tables have been turned at this event, and I suspect that Segura and Spanu were trying to cover each other. They thought that they considered themselves to be the biggest risk to each other, and were keeping each other close. And at the moment, it looks like Segura might have an issue out there. But Spanu's still trying to make her way up to the mark, whilst the two Chinese riders are heading down to the bottom gate.
Exactly, and we have to remember that these kind of race are 6-minute race maximum, and it's really difficult to catch up such a long distance when you are so far behind. It's gonna be interesting.
So Spanu has just gone round the top mark, I can tell you that. Izet Segura still struggling to get there, but Liu Yizhao is through the gate, heads upwind for the second time.
Yes, exactly. And Liu Hi Xiao, she's just behind. Ay, 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 ay. That was not expected. Izet is foiling back again, looking at the speed. But she's still to round the top mark for the first time.
So Izet Segura on the first day of qualifying, when we had lots of racing in conditions that weren't dissimilar to today's, injured her toe and said she was having real trouble jibing because of the pain. And I just wonder, she's kind of struggled for the whole week really, and I just wonder if it's something to do with that.
Oh, we will ask when they will come back at the beach. But those two Chinese wingfoiler, they are really keeping closer each other, and probably they take the power between each other, and they find out that they are really in a good spot because they know that they don't need to push a lot. Both of them is just enough to cross the finish line.
That's right, and let's hope they realise that and they don't take each other out and start competing against each other. There are our leaders, Liu Yizhao and Yinwu Dong, both representing China, and heading down towards the finish line. It's the final leg. And Spanu is still working her way upwind to that mark. She's a long way back.
Really, really strange. Now we have, there is some problem on the tracking, which definitely Maddalena Spano, she's not, I mean, we don't see her visual on the live images.
So the Chinese riders heading towards the finish line.
1, 2.
And a spectacular crash right at the end, but that doesn't matter because she's across the line already. So unofficially, it's Liu Yijiao winning ahead of Yin Wudong.
Yes, exactly. But
And
we need to have a look on the real images. Then we can spot the wing color. We can definitely see Maddalena on her gastra wing.
So Maddalena Spanu of Italy, the defending World Cup champion, crosses the line in third in the semi-final, and that means she is out of the competition.
Yeah, she
And
must be really disappointed for that.
And another surprise is Segura of Spain, struggling to even finish the course. And if she continues like this, she might run out of time.
Yeah, definitely, and doesn't make a lot of sense. And probably she doesn't have the time to cross the finish line within the time limit. And pretty bad move for both of them, all the way to the left side of the course, and big mistake. And as we said, in such a short track, you can't make mistake. You're gonna pay off really high price on that, and this is what happened to Maddalena Spano and Izet Segura, which we don't see them on the grand final.
No, we don't. Who we will see in the women's grand final is Liu Yijiao and Yin Wudong.
Yes.
And they will face Yana Li, the 16-year-old from China, who's had a terrific competition here, and Vina Pico of France. So that will be our women's final, but right now the focus shifts back to the start line and the men's semi-final. That'll see Kamil Manowiecki of Poland up against Julien Ratotti of France and Mathis Guillot of France. Also through from the quarterfinals, two Italians, Niccolò Spanu and Gregorio Pugliese. So two Italians, two French and a Pole will compete the men's semi-final.
We can see northeast, easterly northeast wind, 13 to 17 knots of gust we see sometime, so the wind is quite good, but for sure again super tactics, because it's keep switching, shifting from one side to the other, and not in the same way from the right side of the course and the left side of the course, like we saw what happened to Maddalena and Izet on the previous race.
Well, the men will have been watching that and maybe have learnt the lesson. So yeah, as you say, interesting to see which way they go. And we were talking about, Spanu being in the semi-final. Well, we never used to see Mathis Guillot, the 4 times World Cup champion. We never used to see him having to qualify from a semi-final. Heaven forbid he should have to do that. No, he was always an automatic finalist. But it's happened a few times in recent events, towards the end of last season as well. But don't let that fool you, because I think he's as razor sharp as ever.
I mean, in this semi-final, we have, I think all of them, they've been a winner of something over the last 2-3 years of the World Cup. So the level is pretty high, and probably only Gregorio Pugliese is kind of the underdog of this semi-final fleet.
And he was the underdog in the quarterfinal, having qualified in 9th, and then he went and won it.
Exactly, and it was out of the top 10 yesterday, and he scored a couple of heat on the final races yesterday as well. So if he continue like that, let's see, it might be a surprise.
Flag comes down, minute to go. Now the serious business begins. They'll be focusing and trying to get into position. It's about once they go out and to make that turn so that they can head back towards the start line. It takes about 15 seconds, doesn't it, that whole maneuver?
Yeah, so 15 seconds at least to make sure that you are in the right position to spot your time distance, and again to cross the starting line almost at zero and at maximum speed, obviously, because it's not just about where you are at the zero, at which speed you are across the starting line. So we see 3 on port and 2 on starboard. So Gregorio is repeating almost the same tactics as before. So Matisse not in a good position in this one. You have to tack exactly, because otherwise not in the right position.
The men's semi-final is underway here in Hong Kong, China, and Ratotti is heading off to this right-hand side with his blue Zhaoli wing.
Camille
Manuvetsky also on a new wing, heading to the right. And the others putting in a quick tack.
Yes, they went out of the starting line, and Camille also tacked straight away on port, and Matisse Guillot and Julien Ratotti is the one on the bottom. Only Gregorio Pugliese went really up, and Niccolò Spano on the middle. So all of them, they are on port. Julien, first one, tacking on starboard.
Well, Pugliese used that same tactic, really close between Guillot and Ratotti, the two Frenchmen, now side by side. Manuvetsky is the chasing white wing.
Niccolò Spano is the white on the right side, and with the red wing is
Pugliese,
Gregorio Pugliese.
So right now it is Guillot ahead of Ratotti and Spanu, and trying to chase them down, Pugliese and Manuvetsky.
Yeah, do you see the wind, the shift of the wind, which Matisse spot when he decided to tack just in front of Ratotti. And second is
nicely done by
Niccolò
Guillot.
Spano.
Well ahead at, or has got some breathing space anyway at the first mark at this speed, though. Someone's in.
Gregorio
Pugliese has gone in, but meanwhile Spanu is trying to chase Matisse Guillot down. He's doing a good job of it at the moment as we watch the first and second place riders, and behind them Manuvetsky's moved into third.
Good move for Niccolò to anticipate the jibe.
So an early lead change on that second leg. Spanu goes ahead of Matisse Guillot, and Manuvetsky is closing in on them from third place as well. So we've got three really battling for the lead. Remember, the top two, only the top two, will go through to the grand final. At the bottom gate now, Spanu has the slightest advantage and they split. Spanu left, Guillot right. Manuvetsky tries to close in. He's got to move up a position if he wants to make it to the final. Ratotti looks out of it right now.
And it is following Guillot on the right side, and all of them now, they're going right. Camille Manuvetsky not really in a good position, because on that side we saw previously that the wind doesn't play really well, but Niccolò Spano looks really in a good position. It's going to be really interesting when Matisse will tuck and cross Nicolas Panu.
So can Kamil Manowiecki close the gap and take second place and make it through to the grand final? He won the season finale in Brazil in December. He switched to a new wing supplier this year. He's still getting the hang of that. He sounds confident when he says he was out here training 3 weeks earlier to get used to it. But it is still Spanu in second and Gio leading the fleet. And now side by side, Manowiecki and Ratotti fighting for third. But it's only the top two that go through, remember. That's what the battle's about. And at this point, do you think Gio's away and Spanu's looking around saying, right, I'm just going to play this safe?
Yeah, absolutely. When you are in this position, the last things that you have to think about is try to chase the one that is leading. I mean, try to play safe, not to make mistake, because if you stay in second, you have to just move forward to get the spot into the grand final. So he's following him and he's trying to stay there. You know that staying there is enough. That's the move to do. It's not the next. At the next grand final is completely different mindset.
Look how hard Ratotti on the right hand of the screen there. He was pumping and pumping, hoping to accelerate, hoping to find that extra bit of speed to allow him to close down on Spanu. But the distance is too much. We have our two winners in this semi-final. Mathis Gio of France crosses the line to qualify for the grand final, and right behind him, Nicolas Spanu. He came through the quarter-final, and now he's been second in the semi and goes through to the grand final.
And here it is. Mathis Gio got his spot on the grand final together with the Italian.
So 2 second place finishes for Spanu, but that's all it needs.
Exactly. And Ratotti is coming, and Camille straight behind Julien Ratotti.
So confirmation of the results with Pugliese falling at that top mark after leading the race. So we have Gio and Spanu going through to the men's grand final. They will face Thomas Proust of France and Alessandro Tomasi of Italy. So 2 Italians and 2 French are through to the men's final here in Hong Kong, China. Now the start boats just getting themselves set, and we will see the flags go up in a moment for the women's final.
Yes, it was really interesting. We have some new name into the grand final, some surprise. So Hong Kong is not, well, is not into the standard, which I like that.
They've shuffled the pack. The first event.
Exactly.
That's it. First event of the year, and the usual. The pack has been shuffled, and I guess some new names
I
in
like this word shuffle.
Yeah.
Shuffle, yeah.
We have some new names in the final, but possibly the biggest surprise is the name that is missing from the final, and that is Maddalena Spanu. Her brother has just made it into the grand final. We often see him just miss out,
yes.
But this time Spanu, rather Maddalena, has just missed out on the women's final. So there are our 4 riders, Yinwu Dong and
Tang Puika.
Claire.
No, I think it's Tang Puika. Wait, we are.
Tang Puika. No. Yu Yi Zhao and Yinwu Dong of China.
Yeah, wait a second. Yeah, Yu Yi Zhao.
And
Yeah,
we have
Yan Ali. Yeah, Yan Ali.
We have Claire,
Juno Dong.
Claire Tse
Yeah,
Tian Yu.
Sen Tian Yu Claire, yeah.
So Vina Pico, just to clear this up, Vina Pico of France and Yana Li of China, both of them just 16 years old, have gone straight into the grand final as the top two qualifiers. They start this race with a bullet each, meaning they only need to win one race to win the Hong Kong-China title. Joining them in the final is Claire Tse Tian Yu of Hong Kong, China, and Yin Wu Dong of China. They have come through from the quarterfinals. Into that crucial final minute before the start. And again, they will have been watching the... Now, how much of an advantage, actually, Mirko, is to have already raced, you know, two races, to have done the quarters and the semis, whereas Pico and Lee have just been sitting there watching?
Yeah, I mean, there is two different advantages. The one that they did, they raced before, they have an advantage of the overall view of the course. So if there is some kind of patchy part, obviously they know, they can spot. But remember that for sure over the last 20-25 minutes they were already in the water and watching everyone else that they raced before. And so in terms of general, okay, the start is clear.
So the women's final is underway here in Hong Kong. It was a clear start. And Vina Pico already off the start line well and heading off to the left, but has put in an early tack.
Yes, almost what they did in the previous heat for the men. When you go too much to the left side, doesn't pay off at all. You have to go tack as quick as possible and bang to the right side of the course. Big mistake. It was the big mistake from Iset, Segura and Maddaleno. Too long. They went too far away to the left side of the course.
Now, Yana Li is our early leader, 16 years old. She's a bit of a nomad, travels the world competing with her family. And she qualified, as we've said, automatically to the grand final. And I spoke to her yesterday. She came out of the water. She went, "Oh, it could have gone better." I went, "What do you mean? How could it have gone better?" She just said, "Oh, my technique, my tacking, I always need to improve." And I guess that's how you get to be amongst the best in the world. You're never quite happy with your performance. But she should be happy here because Yana Li is forging ahead, building up a good advantage over the chasing two. Vina Pico in the mix behind her, and Claire Tse Tian Yu from Hong Kong in third. So Yana Li rounds the top mark. She's had a great first leg and has built up a good advantage from her competitor from France, Vina Pico.
It is pretty strange that Vina, she's so far behind, she will pump a lot, and again, right side of the course it pay. This is why she went straight on the jibe to the other side, because you can get more wind. She's a little bit faster, 3 knots of speed different. Did you see the early jibe that she did? She just overtake Yana Li just by the early jibe into the wind.
Early in this second leg, Vina Pico takes the lead from Yana Li with an early jibe. And Pico now heading to that bottom gate. And it'll all be about angle now as they come down to the bottom here. One more manoeuvre from Pico. And then which way do you think she'll go? Look how close it is now. Yana Li closing in on her. She's missed the gate.
She's missed the gate.
And Viner's in. Viner has fallen off the foil and is now struggling to get back up and flying. Jana Lee is going back, I think, to take that gate again, and she's missed a great opportunity. And I wonder if the wind just died at that point, because Pico went in and Jana missed the gate.
But now she went. What happened?
Well, it's very unusual in wingfoiling to see the drone having to stop and hover.
Yes, exactly.
Very unusual. So I wonder what happened there. But it's played into Jana Lee's hands, because she's now away out in front. And can Pico get back up onto her foil?
Oi. I mean, we have 10, 12, 13 knots. It was really strange that she just dropped. I mean, bad rounding mark, and probably Jana Lee, she spotted the hole of wind, and she decided better to miss. She went for a jibe, back again on the other side of the gate, tacking again, and take the course. Quite a smart move for a 16 years old, I must say.
But you got a feel for Viner Pico. She had 8 races in qualifying. She won all but 2 of them. And now she comes to the grand final, which she has to win, of course, for gold. And ends up... Well, we don't know where she is at the moment. I think she's up and running again now. She's managed to get back up on her foil, so is in second place. So Jana Lee will know now that she's just got to get to the end of the course, and the gold will be hers.
Exactly.
Viner Pico, there's only so much she can do, although we're seeing her coming into shot there. And Claire Se Tian Yu and Yun Yu Dong are well out of the running. So now it's just a case of whether the French rider can claw back the distance on Jana Lee, and it'll need a mistake from the Chinese for that to happen.
An extra tack for the Chinese to round the mark properly. She decided to play super safe, and she jibed instead of tacking. Probably she knows that the wind is really marginal, close to the Mark 1. This is really important not to make a mistake. She see the shadow, probably the red shadow behind her wing of Viner Pico, and obviously she knows that on the downwind leg she's really fast, so she must be for attack and straight on the last downwind.
So now suddenly that distance has closed as they both approach that mark. Jana Lee doing this huge jibe and manoeuvre to get round the mark. And they're coming in together now with Viner Pico on the inside. And has the Chinese rider just given that lead away? She's just marginally out in front on the last mark. They're heading down towards the finish line. And can Pico, she's pumping away, trying to pick up speed. And Jana Lee faster downwind first time round.
It's gonna be a fight. Oh no, bad jibe, splash into the water a little bit. It means losing speed.
So suddenly, out of nowhere, we have a race. It's a 2-rider race. Someone's in the water there, but that's
the other one.
That's one of the
Se Tian Yu Claire, I guess. Yeah.
So Viner Pico over on that right-hand side. Just trying to get our bearings exactly where she is in relation to, there we go, Jana Lee. So she's going out left. The angle of the drone here is not quite as it looks in reality.
So now Jana Lee, she will jibe,
And so,
and
and the two
Vaina.
riders come together now. Both of them on the ley line towards that gate, and Vaina Pico slightly ahead, but still needing to accelerate. Jana Lee catching her up, closing the distance. Much faster at the moment as they come down to the bottom gate. It's just a
better position for Jana. Ah, no, bad maneuver, bad jibe.
so Jana's in
For
the water.
both.
Both of them
For
have gone
both of
down
them.
again.
No
So
way.
we've seen this twice now at this bottom gate. Both of them are in the water. They're needing to try and keep the wing out of the water. And Pico's on the board, just paddling. And what a finish to the women's final. Limping over the finish line, Jana Lee. Our two 16-year-olds have given us an incredible, dramatic end to this final. And Pico virtually just throwing her wing ahead of her as Jana Lee crosses the finish line to take victory. But can Pico now get back up on the board and claim silver before the others catch her up?
Yeah, I really hope that Vaina, she will stand on her board and start pumping. I mean, the wind is there. They had a different approach on the last jibe. Jana Lee, she went close to the mark, jibe close to the mark, mistake, fell in the water. Vaina, wider jibe just to make it easier, super smooth, boom, splash in the water as well. I can't believe it. What you said is right. What a dramatic finish for Vaina and Jana Lee, which now she's the only one that crossed the finish line.
We're waiting to see Pico getting across the line. But for Lee, it's celebrations. She is the 2025 Youth World Champion and has now won her first major senior event in the World Cup.
Probably Mango in the rib is trying to speak and explain her that she won. Probably. No, I'm joking.
Okay.
She knew it, I guess.
Yeah. So celebrations then on the finish line for Jana Lee of China. Congratulations to her. We will confirm the results all later and certainly across our socials as the evening goes on. But right now we need to switch to the start line because it is here that we will see the men's final get underway shortly. The men's final featuring Thomas Proust of France, his compatriot Mathis Guillot, two French against two Italians, Alessandro Tomasi and Niccolò Spano. So 2 minutes to the men's final. The week has been building up to this, the climax of the event here in Hong Kong, China. Spanu has had to win his way through from the quarter-final, so 2 races under his belt already, and 2 second places in those races.
Just crossed the finish.
And Mirko just confirming that Vaina Pico's just got across the finish line, and I think that's still ahead of the other 2 competitors who will finish in 3rd and 4th.
Yes, they were just crossing. So less than, probably we are close to a minute. Okay. Shortly we will see the black flags remove. Yes.
Alessandro Tomasi is the Italian that qualified automatically to the grand final, so we'll have a bullet in hand. And Thomas Proust, what a story he's been giving us over this week. Always kind of there or thereabouts last season, but never quite making it into those top spots. But here he has dominated the men's fleet right through qualifying and goes straight through then to this final with a bullet in hand. So a reminder as we count down to the start is that Thomas Proust and Alessandro Tomasi need just one win in order to claim the title. Matis Guillot and Nicolo Spanu need 2 wins to get there. And here we go, a split in the fleet from coming in from left and right, and the men's final is underway.
And on starboard, we saw Matis Guillot and Ale Tomasi, but Ale Tomasi went into the tack straight after the starting line, and we see on the bottom Nicolo Spanu and Thomas Proust, which is on the bottom with the red wing.
So Thomas Proust doing what he's been doing all week, getting away really well, full of energy, pumping to accelerate away, but a really good start, and picking his line and choosing his route up that first leg. Matis Guillot at the back of the fleet, he tried what he did in the semi-final and it worked for him there. It hasn't worked for him this time.
Yes, probably again is when you do it with the proper wind and with the right angle, it works. But now again, let's see how that works when they start tacking close to the top mark, because it's where the wind is more tricky, and probably they will go a little bit further to the right side. Yes, Matis, and then they will tack as a, let's say, and go for maximum speed close to the mark.
What we're seeing now is the leading pair staying very close to each other. They know that if whichever one of those wins this race will win the title. So they're not worried about what's happening behind them right now. They've got breathing space on the chasing too. It's all about this battle for first. Alessandro Tomasi at the front and Thomas Proust. And Tomasi is first to the top mark.
Yes, and we see with the girl before that with this kind of wind, with all of wind and the current, they needed to really try to avoid any splash or losing their foiling mode. Otherwise, it's going to be a disaster. But Ale Tomasi is pumping like
Crazy.
a devil, crazy, and Thomas Proust as well, but little bit less. Ale Tomasi, we knew that is pumping a lot and is able to go really deep in terms of angle, almost like Nicolo Spanu, because we saw it already also in Brazil, how is the ability to pump really in the front side of the board, stay really front forward, and they got really a deeper angle on the downwind part.
Yeah, the breakthrough event for Tomasi really was the Istanbul World Cup last year, which he won, and that just it let him fly. It filled him with confidence, and he's been challenging at the top of the fleet ever since. And Tomasi is round with a good lead at the bottom gate, followed by Thomas Proust, who's lost distance on the downwind leg, a lot of distance, and in fact is now being caught by Nicolo Spanu and Matis Guillot. So a real battle going on at the back, but Tomasi, he is away and he is clear.
Yes, it's clear, but I think that Thomas Proust has to keep pumping, and Matis Guillot behind is not a good competitor to have it behind, because he will try to kill him until the very end. Tomasi tack on the right side. Obviously, the decision to stay on the right, it was a winning move before. He repeat himself just to avoid to go on the wrong side of the course. Just a few minutes away for rounding mark, the top mark for the last time.
But hey, we've seen plenty of drama today.
Yeah, I would not say
we've seen splashdowns and lead changes, so let's not curse them with our prediction. No. Alessandro Tomasi though is looking good. And right behind him, interesting battle. So Thomas Proust side by side with his fellow Frenchman Mathis Guillot, Nicolas Barnu playing catch-up in 4th place.
And Ale Tomasi start pumping for the last downwind legs, and the conditions over there are not really easy to manage. Mathis Guillot probably he missed some wind. Did you see the angle? He had to tack again, and Thomas Proust he went rounding the mark. It's also an important thing to say in this grand final. Oh no, Thomas just fell in the water during the rounding the mark.
Oh,
no
Thomas
way.
Proust.
You said that we can't say anything
Thomas
until the
Proust.
very end.
Thomas Proust, who's had a terrific week all week, and he came out of the water like glowing with satisfaction yesterday. His teammates were around congratulating him. Mathis Guillot, who's just going past him, said to me, "Oh, I'm so pleased for Thomas. It's so good that all that hard work has come true." But he is in the water, and he's not going to recover from that. This is the man to follow right now. He is the man they're all chasing. It's Alessandro Tomasi of Italy, heading towards the finish line and heading towards the first title of the season. Mathis Guillot's chasing in 2nd, and I think Proust is up and running at the back now in 3rd. So through the bottom gate for Alessandro Tomasi, and he is about last jibe. He's heading towards the finish line, and he is about to add another World Cup event title to his Istanbul title from last season. Tomasi wins in Hong Kong, China, and he is going to be so happy with that success.
Great, well done for Ale Tomasi. Deserved. Really difficult week for everyone, but obviously he had a lot of up and down. Not easy, and they understand it was challenging until the end. Really great also that in this final, Ale Tomasi, RRD, and then Thomas Proust and Vayu and Mathis Guillot in ozone and Nicolas Pano in Gastra. Again, I'm saying that because that's proof how the athletes make the difference, and most of the wing are really level, the equipment is really leveled, and the effort of them, that's just amazing.
So we're looking at Alessandro Tomasi, our winner in Hong Kong here. He won 4 races in qualifying and now has gone straight through to the final and has won the final.
So again, at the end, Mathis Guillot went 2nd, but Thomas Proust, with the bullet that he had, he keep silver. So gold for Tomasi, Thomas Proust, which he had really amazing last 2 days. So he keep the silver,
okay,
and
so
Mathis in bronze.
So let's just confirm the result of the final. So Alessandro Tomasi, Mathis Guillot, Thomas Proust took 3rd, and Nicolas Pano took 4th. But medals: gold to Tomasi, silver to Proust.
Yes.
And bronze will go to Mathis Guillot. So a real drama. That medal series, you know, it's been created to give us drama, and it's been played a little bit with for this season. No repechage, 5 riders in the quarterfinal and semi-final, and it seems to be working so far. So that's all good. Final word really about this whole event here in Hong Kong.
I think it was an amazing organizer. A lot of effort from for all the people here. They are doing a lot of activity, from canoeing to windsurfing,
dragon boating,
dragon boat. Yeah, a lot of activity here around, which is amazing because I mean Hong Kong is just behind the hill. And here in Stanley Beach, there is a lot of people. We see the parking lot full of people coming during the weekend. It's an amazing place, I must say. A lot of spirit, nice spirit, and Mango and all his team. They They
Done a
did
great
really
job.
a great job.
Great job.
Amazing.
Yes, great hosts. Thank you very much to them. Thanks to all the riders for giving us plenty of action. We're off to the prize giving now. If you want to follow that, check all the results, make sure you stay across all our socials, whatever you're on, Facebook, Instagram, X, it's all there. You'll find all the details, and of course the website. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. That's our first event of the World Cup in 2026. Hope you've enjoyed it, and congratulations to our champions, Jana Lee of China and Alessandro Tomasi of Italy. From Mirko and from me, it's goodbye for now. 14 knots of shifty wind made for a tricky day at the World Cup Hong Kong. We had lead changes and splashdowns, strategies and equipment tested to the max. At stake was qualification to the medal series. Only the top 9 would go through. It was a standout day for a number of riders, especially for Thomas Proust, who was flying high after his first ever World Cup victory. The youngest member of the French team completed the day with no less than 5 victories. Julien Ratotti added to France's success with a victory and consistent top 5 finishes. In the women's fleet, teenager Vaina Pico was on top form. The French rider won all but one of the day's 8 races. Defending World Cup champion Maddalena Spanu started the day second overall, but failed to finish a single race because of problems with her new and untested wing. By contrast, the youth world champion Jana Lee of China made an impressive step up to senior level, pushing more experienced riders and grabbing a handful of top 3 finishes.
I'm excited to be in the medal series. I'm looking forward to tomorrow and taking better starts and overall better technique.
As for Proust, he ended the day bubbling with confidence. Vindication for training every day through the winter break, even when it was only 5 degrees at home in La Rochelle.
So going in grand final, all I need is a win. I will push as fast as I can to grab this win.
The medal series on Sunday will decide our men's and women's champions, but in these conditions, it'll be tough to predict our winners.